Oh, Mogara Orisha Oko. Hey, good afternoon, Cabo. You know what time it is. It's time for the Midweek Recharge with Iyalode Yeyefini Iya Funlayo. Blessings, blessings, and Kenchi Modupuyo, Omomi, Yvette, blessings, Tiff, hello, Adeyemi, good to see you, darling, as always, hey, Omodara, good child, Orisha Oko, give thanks, hey, give thanks, Vanessa, Barbara. Good to see you, Nikki. Lotus, Dr. Gibbs in the house, Tyree, Amber, blessings, Jess. Hello, Zakia, Renee, blessings, Natalie, Omiyemi, my sister, Boato. Hey, Bella's in the building. Readings by Callie. Happy birthday, Bella. Woo, woo. Got Joy, 1974, Elevated Conjure. That's my student, Danielle. Hey. Blessings, Shanda, Naima, Nandi. Give thanks, give thanks. We are so grateful always to be together. Oje Fumike, Omo Yemoja, blessings, Rebel, Vanessa. Yes, so speak now or forever hold. Give thanks, give thanks. Hey, we are honoring Orisa Oko today. And Orisa we don't hear about so much, but we should. And we're going to tell you why. Give thanks. Hey, Omodara Orisa Oko. Hey, Alafia. Blessings, Crystal. Blessings, Tanya. Hello, Alafia Leo. Hey, Omodara, the real Tahira, Muffin, I see you, Empress, blessings, blessings, good to see you all this morning. Hey, Iwapele movement, I love it. We know Iwapele is first. Oboato, Deidre, Kehinde, Shar, one of my almost, blessings. Diana, blessings. Jarius, good to see you. Yes, so. Hey, Olodumare, the Almighty, we pray for blessings. Ashe, 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 Ashe. Eka sao, eka, depending on where you are in the world. And welcome, welcome, welcome to the Midweek Recharge with Iyalode Yeyefini Iya Funlayo. She alafia ni iya.
Alafia ni adupe.
Hey, you know we are always happy to hear that alafia ni. We are doing well. We have peace. We have honor. We have strength. We are divinely aligned. Remember our mantra? Yes. We are still riding high from the energy of the Black Spirit Solstice Summit. I'm pleased to report that your replays are loading currently. So those of you who were with us, you can log on into the course site and start checking out those replays. It was a high time. We just give thanks again for being able to spend such a marathon of time together. We were together from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. We prayed, we sang, we danced, we clapped, we cried, we just did everything, and we had such a good time. We danced with DJ Funke at the end. Yes. Just beautiful Afro house tunes. We're just so grateful to have had a beautiful time together, and we always give thanks for being able to come together with you. Yes, you, Jade, Sappho, Azure, Omoyemoja, Dawn, Kehinde, Crystal. Yes, you, Tashonda, Miss Lady, Alaje Michael, My Lucky Groove, Danielle. We are so happy, pal, to see you all always and to be able to give thanks and praise to our divinities, to give thanks and praise to Olodumare, to the ancestors, and to all of our Orisha. And today, I was moved to share a little bit about Orisha Oko, Moi 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 Mariwo. Orisha Oko, the Orisha of the farm, the Orisha of growth and abundance. We don't hear nearly as much about Orisha Oko as we should. Orisha Oko is all about planting things in the earth and having them grow, about roots that go deep down into the earth and the beautiful things that spring up on the surface. And Orisha Oko is deeply tied in as well with Baba Luaye, who we are honoring in this season, both our Orisha of the forest. I'm going to share just a little bit from Orin Orisha by our Baba John Mason, beautiful resource. And he speaks about how both Orisha Oko and Baba Luaye were stricken by illness. One had leprosy and the other smallpox. So Orisha Oko was stricken by leprosy. And one of the things about both of them is that they overcame to come back and be respected, feared, revered, and deified by their people as universal saviors, as the ones who can cleanse, as the ones who can make the barren land grow things. Land that hasn't grown anything in time can be made to grow again. And so it says the two share being dressed in a complete cover of mariwo or palm fronds, being exiled. Oko was exiled to the farm and Babalu to the open spaces of new country. Because of their close relationship with Ogumoye, who say it is today, and Osain, people laud their medical ability and respectfully call them doctor. They also adjudicate cases dealing with witchcraft and negative magic. Yes, yes, yes. And so we just give thanks for the energy of Orisha Oko, the energy that can, again, make things grow where there haven't been things before, the energy that speaks about overcoming difficulty and coming back to triumph, being stricken with the most terrible disease, being exiled. Some of us have been stricken in various ways. Some of us have been exiled, be it from our families, from our communities. We have been exiled at different times. They didn't understand what we was doing. They didn't understand why we chose to take this path of African spirituality as opposed to whatever path it was that they are taking. But then what happens at the end? We come back and we are redeemed. We are recharged. When the time is right, everybody's not going to understand what you're doing right at the time that you start doing it, right? But when you do what you know that you're meant to do, everything turns back around and you come back and you are not only feared, you are revered and also exalted and respected as one that can heal the very issues that had stricken you. There's a beautiful saying that comes from the people, the Kikongo in Congo, the DRC, that speak about how a healer has to first be afflicted. Mm-hmm. In order to be able to heal others, we have to know the sting. We have to know the pain of affliction. And so for many of us who have been marked as healers, for many of us who have been told that we will be the ones to help our communities and our families, we will find ourselves stricken. We will find ourselves exiled. We will find ourselves feeling these things because it is only through feeling those things that we are able to come back and heal them. It is only through having felt the depression that we can empathize with those who feel it. It is only through coming through the loneliness. It is only through coming through the illness and the pain that we are able to truly, truly, truly empathize, right? And truly dig deep into ourselves for that power to heal. And so we just give so much thanks. We know that our philosophies of Orisa, Ifa Orisha, speak about how it is loss and gain that make the world tibitire, ladaile, aye. We cannot have the ire without the ibi. It's always there. And so we just embrace and we give thanks to Babaluaye, who's able to clean the ibi off of us, to Orisha Oko, who is able to help us grow and sprout and have new things come where the ground has become barren, or and bring us back out of the exile that we might feel and reintegrate us into everything that makes us feel beautiful and wonderful. And so as we prepare to move into our prayer space, we're just going to take that energy with us, that energy of renewal, that energy of regrowth, that energy of being brought back together into the fold after being exiled, this energy of being healed and lifted up, because Orisha Oko is a healer. We give thanks for the things. One of the reasons, of course, that Orisha Oko is a healer is because the things of the earth are what heals us, right? Our food is our medicine. And so one of the things that we do to honor Orisha Oko is to give the foods of the ground, the vegetables, the yams, the tomatoes, the onions, all of the different bounties that come out of the ground we give. And we actually made an offering today. We give thanks. We give all of those bounties, right, to Orisha Oko to represent the plethora of blessings, the plethora of bounty that comes out of the earth, and to call that energy into ourselves. Let us grow plentifully like the grass. Let us be popular. Grass is so popular. Grass is the most plentiful plant on earth. Grasses are the most plentiful type of plant. We ask to be like grass, to just spread everywhere over the ground, to cover everything. We ask to be like the tomato with so many seeds inside. It's never lonely and it never stops growing. We ask to be like the yam that grows from its ancestral tubers and gets passed down through the generations and is so nourishing and comforting. We just ask to be like each one of those precious things that grows, and always to be able to take them in and to feel them heal us. Ashe, ashe, ashe. We know, of course, yes, sir, that the plants can't grow and nothing can happen like that unless, unless we have our element of water. We know that. If they want to go wash, what they go use? Omitutu. Hey, they're going to use omitutu. If they want to cook soup, what is it that they will use? Omitutu. Hey. Not only bona. Not only big bona. It will become big bona hot later, but you start with it cool. Ashe. So we say omi tutu, ashe tutu, ana tutu, ile tutu, tutu laroye tutu bobo, ego tutu bobo, risha tutu, emio tutu bobo, wa tutu orio. Let's touch our ori. Come on, we know that if we want a house high, you gotta ask your Ori. If you want a spouse high, you gotta ask your Ori. If you need that money, you gotta ask your Ori. Because it is only through Ori that all of our blessings are able to come. It's only those things that we see as possible first. Things exist in our minds first. We have to see it as possible before we can achieve it. And we give thanks for Oris that are open to receive and to envision every good thing that is meant for us. Asheo, Mojuba, Mojuba Olodumare, Oba Aterere Kaiye, Mojuba Ti Ojo, Mojuba Ti Orum, Mojuba Ile Ogere Foko Yere, Mojuba Rumila Ile Ripin, Mojuba Ibarumole Ojukotu, Mojuba Ibarumole Ojuko Sing, Mojuba Okalemi Mole, Mojuba Koda, Mojuba Sheda, Mojuba Rabalotife, Mojuba Monia Finjuye, Mojuba Egungu Ile, Egungu Bawashe, call your ancestors, go on ahead, Egungu Bawashe, Iba Egungu, Mope Egungu Bawashe. We give thanks for all of the mothers and the fathers represented by each and every person who is present with us right now. We know that it is Baba Eni, Shejeni, Iyalode Yeyefini Efunbolade, Orisa. It is our mothers and our fathers who are our Isheshe, and it is Isheshe that we honor before honoring any Orisa. Give thanks. Mojuba Ori. Mojuba Baba, Mojuba Yeye, Mojuba Wonala Seku, Mojuba Bobo Borisha, Mojuba Tashuodara Nika and Losoro, Mojuba Baba Nubata La Epa Baba Rubo, Epa. Orisha, Wepa, Mole, Baba, Mi, Mojuba, Shuni, or Ye, Mojuba Shambo, Kao, Kavi, Mojuba, Gunye, Omari, Wo, Ogumbemi, Obioshe, Benia, Coco, Mojuba, Shosio, De Mata, Mojuba, Mobeji, Mojuba, Egbe, Mojuba, Bobo, Orisha. Kinka Mashe, Bobo, Wanti, and if Kinka Mashe, Miva, Flash, Kinka Mashe, Nelson, Bolomo, Kinka Mashe, Kinka Mashe, Ye, me, Ye, Fini, Kinka Mashe, Kinka Mashe, Bobo, Wanti, and if Kinka Mashe. We know means may no harm, hurt, or danger come. So we say Kinka Mashe and the names of anyone we want to bring into this sacred circle of protection right now. Working our way down from our elders, we give thanks. Remember to pray for those who pray for you. We give so much thanks, and we say Kosi Iku, Kosi Arun, Kosi Epe, Kosi Ofo, Kosi Olopa, Kosi Idina, Kosi Fitibo, Kosi Wahala Rara. We don't want no problems whatsoever to be with any of us. Rara, Kosi Wahala Rara. No problems whatsoever for any of us. We just give thanks always for being able to call on our divinities to push away the negativity and to call in Bobo Ireo, Bobo Ireo. We call on all of the Ire, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. And yes, one of our biggest Ires, hey, wow, is this beautiful, powerful priestess Iyalode Yeyefini Efunbolade, who is here with all of her grand Ashe, over 50 years of Ashe, to just share with us a word. Iya wow.
Adupwe. Ekuodum.
Hey.
Ekuodum, saluting everyone on this eve of the illumination of our sky, illumination of our hearts.
Yes.
We're cleansing ourselves as we are leading up to the 25th of celebrating the new sunrise in us. The sun, new, blessed solstice. For those of you who are cleaning and cleansing and shining lights on things, blessings to each and every one of you. I know we've been doing here. I was just thinking it's amazing how, we started this over a year that I'm in the West Coast. We're both at the West Coast with different households. Look at us now.
Look at us.
God is good.
Look at what has grown.
What has grown. God is good. And that's how it is when you plant a seed. When you plant a seed,
yes.
It's like the yam. You don't plant a seed of yam and think that it's going to come up in your yard. Yam, you plant it here and it ends up in your neighbor's yard.
Come on now.
It ends up in your neighbor's yard. So we planted seeds, and look at us now.
Yes.
Not only are we neighbors, we are here together in this temple, in this shrine, in this space. And today we fed Orisha Oko. Oh my God, he was so happy. He said, I love ya. So everybody said, I love ya. Yes, he was like, oh, thanks for the hookup. It was just so beautiful. Baba was presenting something to his Odu, and it was just so beautiful to see him just on earth again. Because when I was in the West, he was inside of a house. Now he's on the ground. That's where Orisha Oko can manifest, has to be on earth. And you were speaking about how the need for us to have plants and grass. There's a beautiful relationship in the story, I have to look it up, between Orisha Oko and Osai. because they are best friends, you know. You
Yes.
planted, and him and Orisha Oko and Osai just come up and make this beautiful, beautiful relationship that we, you know, sit down and eat our food. Is this deep relationship that sometimes we forget Orisha Oko is the source of everything that we eat, and we just assume, oh, thank you, thanks to the farmer, thanks to the people who deliver the food, thanks to Orisha Oko, because if he did not exist, we would not be here. There would not be food. You know, so I just wanted to give thanks today and let everyone know we prayed for you, for Orisha Oko to bless you and extend this period of growth for you as you go deep inside. And Babalu Aye, Mofere Fung, I love that Orisha. It's just, Babalu Aye just comes in so slowly with his messages. He comes in slowly and heals us, just slowly. It heals us from inside and then outside, then we're cleansed. I'm so grateful for that. So today I wanted to share a story with you.
Yay!
Of, I'd be laughing in my own head when I get read these stories, but the stories of performers is just so funny. And so this is the story that comes out of the Odu of Ogbe Oworin. And Ifa Ogbe Oworin, you know, that our ancestors are such geniuses so that we can remember life. And we can evolve always. They give us stories. They're patekis, right? And in those stories, we see life as an adventure versus, you know, thou shalt not do this. Do not ever do this. Do not. We have these stories that you can understand that the Orisha were on earth.
Yes.
And they
try
have
to figure it out just like we
try to figure it out just like us.
Yeah.
And they left us these stories so we know that they weren't perfect. So you're not perfect, but always turn to the Itan is story, right? Itan to remember those things. So the story of I wrote it out in my book. Someone asked the other day, what book is she reading from? I always write out my stories so that I can remember them and don't get so excited. So I'm talking to you from the Odu of Ogbe Oworin. Well, divination was made for yam, corn, plantain, and cocoa yam. We gave Orisha Oko a cocoa yam. Cocoa yam is delicious. Some people call it dashin. It's so good. And so cocoa yam, we gave him a big old one. And so when they were leaving heaven to come on earth, because you know, as the Orishas, they lived on earth first and then they went because they were arguing amongst each other. Olodumare said, y'all need to come home and govern from there. So when they were leaving, so when divination was made for yam, corn, plantain, and cocoa yam when they were leaving heaven, they were told to make sacrifice and to avoid traveling early in the morning in order to avoid the risk of sudden death. They were told that they need to make a sacrifice to Eshu, and they needed to make also with the sacrifice, they needed to sacrifice the machete, the cutlass that they use to clear, because you know they are vegetables, so they had to come back with their tools. And he told her, well, you have to make the sacrifice to Eshu, and part of the sacrifice is your machete. Yam, corn, planted said, this dude is whack. I'm not putting this in. I'll give Eshu his rooster. But when I get to the earth, I need to be able to support myself. I need to be able to eat. I need to be able to grow. So that's whack. So they said, okay, we do that, but with one eye open, like, okay, I ain't doing all of that. So they went ahead.
Ooh, well, come on, you better come on.
All of them except Coco Yam. Coco Yam says, you know what? The last time I didn't do Ebo, I realized what happened. So I'm going to go ahead and be obedient and do this. So he went ahead and he made the sacrifice with his machete because he needed it too. So they went on. The next morning they were setting out, and yam, corn, and plantain decided they wanted to stop and get their chewing sticks. You know, because they wanted to refresh themselves when they get to heaven. They get, oh, I am here, I feel good, I smell good. So they wanted to get chewing sticks. I love chewing sticks. I forgot which one they call, the one with the atad, the one with the peppery. I love it. It's a natural astringent. But anyway, so they went and they cut it down and they started chewing on their chewing sticks and getting their clothes on and everything, getting ready, because they coming to earth. They're like, we're going to be like rocket. They started chopping it down. Poor Coco Yam didn't have a machete. So he said, can one of you brothers hook a brother up? They said, you crazy, because we told you not to give that sacrifice, but you think you know all of that. So you went ahead and used it, and they were like, he said, please, come on, help me, because we are brothers. We're going back to, to the same, for the same purpose, to spread our bounty. They said, you're crazy. We're not going to do that. So they went on and chopped their sticks. And what Coco Yam decided to do, he was using his teeth. And he started chopping down and chewing and trying to get himself a piece of stick to cut, to come down to the yam, to the stick to clean himself, so he can look fancy and nice, to where he gets on the way while he's chopping a shoe who he had already made the agreement with. He says, give the sacrifice of a shoe. The others did their sacrifice for a shoe, but they didn't give their ultimate sacrifice. So he went ahead and a shoe made the wood even harder. So that he couldn't chew it. And he was just biting. He says, I don't know if I'm going to ever get there. And he's chewing on it, and he's chewing on it, and he's trying, and his shoe's making it harder and harder. So he was there for about an hour. So anyway, they ended up, he was, the other tree, it was the other tree, which was yam, plantain, and corn. They went ahead and got there looking good and everything. Well, right when they got between morning and night, or where the doorway between heaven and earth, Death said, I didn't eat last night. I did not eat last night, and here comes my breakfast. So he took the machetes that they had and whacked their heads off, chopped all their heads off, and took their heads back to heaven. And he said, I'm so full. So here comes later, by then, the sun has risen, it's early morning, all the dew is done. Here come poor Coco Yam, Dasheen, here come Coco Yam manifesting himself. The people say, how did you come through? How you avoided death? He told them the story. And then from that day, they called him Coco. They called him Enitiku Eko, the one who ended death. So that's one of the terms that they called the Coco Yam.
Wow.
And so he made it, and everybody from that day, they always, supported him. And so that's why today, plantain, corn, and yam, you got to use a knife to get to them. You got to chop it down. Whereas Coco Yam does not need it. And any of you know Coco Yam is used for, in this faith, we do it, we use Coco Yam to cover the face of the duck for sacrifices. We eat it in St. Vincent. It's called, what's the thing that we love in Jamaica? They call it, but anyway, they cut up the skin of the leaf of it and eat it. Delicious. But to get to it, you have to pull it out. You don't cut it. You hold it by the root stem and you pull it out of the ground, because he did the sacrifice. So the story is deep, because it's trying to tell us here that when you get the Odu of this Odu to make a bow, of course, of warring is to make sacrifice, but also remember to follow the instructions to the letter.
Yes.
Follow the instructions to the letter, because if you don't, and you assume that things are the way that they used to be, I always need my knife, and when I get to earth, I'm going to use my knife. It's kalalu is what they call it in St. Vincent. They call it kalalu. They cut up the thing. And also, for those of you who are priests, we use it when we dress the odo. You have to use that. Very important. Very important. And so that's the story that I want to share with you, that in our lives, sometimes we feel that we're prepared because it used to be the way it used to be. And if we don't come, the way we used to come, we're not going to be able to survive. But Coco Yam said, you know what? I better listen to the Odu, because at the end of the day, Orumila told me to make a bow.
Right.
And to make a bow, not only to a shoe, but use my intelligence and make that ultimate sacrifice. Though you don't know what the sacrifice is going to cost you, go ahead and do it anyway. So Iya, give us a little more wisdom and then share that little story. Yes, wow, that is deep.
Wow. Iyalode stories, we having that twist, man. We had to wait. I was on the edge of my seat, like, what's finna happen? Listen, you already know what got me was in the beginning when they were told to make it, and they was I ain't gonna do all that. How many of y'all done been listening to me or Iyalode saying, oh, okay, Ashe, but rolling your eyes knowing you wasn't finna do what you was told to do, huh? That's the part for me of understanding, and again, as we've brought up many times, understanding what the true sacrifice is in any given time, at any given sacrifice. The true sacrifice was the thing that they felt was valuable. That chicken wasn't no sacrifice, or whatever else they would give. Okay, there's nothing that you care about. But when you're asked to give up something you care about, that's the sacrifice. That's the thing. That's the test. That's like the whole hair business. We were just talking about that. Mm-hmm. When initiation, yes, your hair gets shaved because new energy. Hair is the only dead cells that stay on your body. You know that, right? Our whole bodies renew themselves. The cells renew themselves. We get a whole new body every 7 years. But hair, the only dead cells that stays hanging on us. And so that's one of the reasons that hair is a sacrifice. And a lot of people, right, before they even get to the part of, being marked or getting ready to know if they're even going to get initiated, they come asking about the hair. They, so am I going to have to cut my hair? Hey. That hair is the sacrifice. So understand what the real sacrifice is. For them, that machete was the real sacrifice. That was the real test. And that was the test that they failed. And you see what happened. Kosi or Rio. They
for the rest of their life.
Right. And we never know. We can't, when we go to consult the divinities, provided that we trust our diviner and we believe they're really tapping in, it is so important to really trust and to really know that the things that we're being told for a reason, even if we don't see it now. We can't, that's why we have divination, because we can't see all the way. But Ifa and our other divinities, they can see it. Give thanks.
When you were talking about that, something came up. I don't know if maybe we will out people, but that's not my intention. Mm-hmm. I heard that there are people now that can make arrangements that they can be paid so their hair is not cut. Like I said, I'm not trying to out people, but I know somebody told me that they paid a fee, that there's more that you can see, that you pay a fee and you keep the hair. So that's like the sacrifice there. Mm-hmm. With the machete, it was like, okay, at what cost? At what cost,
right? You can pay a little more money now, but then what's the cost? You see that when you see that your life is not going well and things are not going well, is because of the refusal to make those sacrifices. And understand, with this tradition and every other, there's somebody will give you anything you want for enough money. Sure. There's somebody who will say, oh, you don't need blood, you don't need to get your hair cut, you don't need to do anything.
That's why the proverb that says earth is not heaven, earth is not earth is a marketplace.
Right.
But it also says, our home is not on earth, but earth is a marketplace. Make sure that you're not the one that's being bought or sold. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we forget that little adage to it. Be careful and make sure that you're not the one that's being bought or sold.
Right.
So you come back here, you can make arrangements, like you said, any cost. People can pay for anything they want.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You can, but at what is the real cost? Right? What is the real cost? So we just give thanks for being willing always to give what is necessary, even when we don't see the end, and understanding that that's why we go for divination, because we can't see the end. So we get that notice to do this. They didn't know death was waiting around the corner to snatch that machete out their hand and cut their head off with it. Holla. They didn't know that. But Coco Yam didn't know it either, but he was spared because he listened. Obedience. Give thanks. Yeah, I know you got some vibration for us today. We just love it when you vibrate and sing for us. I know it. I feel it.
Okay. I didn't come this morning with any particular one, but people I've had like maybe 3 or 4 texts of people saying that last week's song chant. They enjoyed it, so I'm going to go ahead and do Obatala Ashe again.
Yes.
There's a lot of people. We're like, oh my goodness, that was so powerful. So we're going to do Obatala Ashe again.
Ashe,
I'm going
Ashe.
to get up and move from here. So I'm
You
just
know,
sit
we
right
always,
here.
yeah, you have his bell there. Hey.
Ajuba, Awajuba yin, Loniyo Orisha Oko. Aki Eshu Elegba Ogun Otosi Oshun Shango Loko Yemonja Wukla Wendla Bejo Aganju Osai Nobaluwa Ye Orisha Oko Osai we call it Ojuba yin Loniyo Ifa Abulu Abuya Aboshishe we call it Akoda Asheda we call it all of the Ihumole at this time of victory as we just give thanks and praises to the winter solstice. We give thanks for our ability to go within and come out shining and new in expectation of new yam, in expectation of new corn, in expectation of new plantain, in expectation of all of the goodness of the multiplicity of the grains that exist on the earth. We give thanks to Obalua Ye that as we come out of this and as we celebrate you on the 25th with wine and food and dancing, and you have your 9 wives, your 9 stars around you, we just give thanks. Obalua Ye, Ajuba Ye, Atino, Adupo, Awajuba Ye, Lonia, me, and you almost get there, Corinfu Yin, yeah. Ati Jackie Bobo Yaki Bo, Corin Lonio, Inu, Awadu. Àti ìbọ́gbọ̀ ohun kí àwa lè ṣe lónìí àti ọdún tuntun kí àwa lè rí àlàáfíà.
Àlàáfíà ni o.
Kí àwa lè rí ìlera, kí àwa lè rí iṣẹ́ àti ọwọ́ àti ọmọ. Oh, Baba Mio, we're asking that each and every one, I'm translating, that all of us, as we extend our hands, that we find health, wealth, prosperity, children, all of the expressions of the divine, known as the Ires, may we find them. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Orisha Oko, your manifestation is always exemplary that, you know, working with Obalua Ye. When we eat good food, we don't have to visit Obalua Ye in its negative or its opposite energy of illness. Ashe, Ashe. When we fast and drink juices and we cleanse our organs, we rejuvenate our Ashe for the new year. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Obatala, Obatasi, Obatayanu, Babami.
Yepa.
Eleripi, Babami, Obatala, Ki Adelori, Yaki Batale, Setide, Baba, Alasho Funfu, Alagemo, Orisha Mi. Orisha Kiera, Mi wa Shishe Lorukonye, Obatala Kunwa, Obatala, Oshejishemu, Obatala Mashika, Obatala, gentle Orisha, beautiful Orisha, we call her new Orisha, Babami, Obatala, Epa. Obatala She, Orisha Lashe, Obatala She, Orisha Lashe. I wanted you to take them into a nice meditation as I just chant Obatala.
Yes. Let's take some nice deep breaths together in through our noses and out through our mouths. Giving thanks once more. Let it out slowly. And once more. Give thanks.
Obatala She, Orisha Lashe, Obatala She, Orisha Lashe, Obatala She, Orisha Lashe, Obatala She, Orisha Lashe, Obatala Loshe, Orisha Lashe, Obatala Loshe, Orisha Lashe, Obatala Loshe, Orisha Lashe. Yeah, Orisha Lashe, Obatala She, yeah, Orisha Lashe, Orisha Lashe, Obatala She, Orisha Lashe, yeah, Baba Lashe, Obatala She, Orisha Lashe, Baba mi Obatala She, Orisha Lashe, Obatala She, Orisha Lashe, Ire Lore Baba, Obatala she, Orisa láṣẹ, Ọbàtálá láṣẹ.
Orisa láṣẹ,
Orisa
láṣẹ,
Ọbàtálá mú aṣọ funfun dìde lórí gbogbo ẹ̀yà bàbá lórí oníṣẹ́ṣẹ́ bàbá mi.
Ọbàtálá láṣẹ,
Orisa láṣẹ, Ọbàtálá láṣẹ. Bàbá mi Ọbàtálá fi aṣọ funfun dìde lórí gbogbo ẹ̀yà. Orisa láṣẹ, Ọbàtálá láṣẹ. Orisa láṣẹ, Orisa epa. Ọbàtálá láṣẹ, Ọbàtálá jùbàyè. Títí láíláí bàbá mi Ọbàtálá láṣẹ,
Ọbàtálá láṣẹ.
Orisa láṣẹ, Ọbàtálá láṣẹ. Orisa láṣẹ, bàbá.
Orisa
Bàbá láṣẹ. Orisa láṣẹ, Ọbàtálá láṣẹ.
Orisa láṣẹ,
Ọbàtálá láṣẹ. Ìrè fún wa, àlàáfíà fún wa, ìlera fún wa bàbá. Ọbàtálá láṣẹ, Orisa láṣẹ.
Ọbàtálá láṣẹ, Orisa láṣẹ.
Orisa.
Epa bàbá o, epa Orisa. Epa. Give thanks and praise, thanks and praise, thanks and praise. For that blessing. Let's just take one more nice deep breath in through our noses and out through our mouths. We give thanks for all of our divinities, for Orisa Oko, for Ogun with the tools, for Babaluaye, for Ọbàtálá, for Oshun bringing the sweet waters. We just give thanks to every one of our divinities, Oyayansa, spreading the seeds. We give thanks.
Hashem.
We give thanks. We give thanks for them residing in each part of us. As always, if you felt blessed today, we invite you to pour back a blessing on these ministries. You can do so at $Funlayo, $Yeyefini, or Funlayo at AseIre.com, or Yeyefini at bellsouth.net. We just give thanks for all of you who pour into us. And remember that your most precious commodity, the thing that is the most precious that you have, is not money. We need money, yes, everybody needs money. It's a tool to do what we need. But the most precious thing that you have is your time. Use your time wisely. Use the medicine. Tap in, pray, meditate. Head to Yeyefini.com, head to AseIre.com. Get yourself some medicine to use, to feel good, to bring yourself up to a higher vibration.
Hashem.
That is what this is all about. Iyalode, what's going on at Yeyefini.com right now?
Well, we're just welcoming everyone to go there and look at our 9 Souls class, which I was able to just give a glimpse of it. But all 9 classes are there. You want to invest in that. And it's just a download or any of the introductory classes to deepen your understanding of it, because this is not a drive-through faith. You got to study. You have to know the background. So that's what's going on. And of course, we are getting ready for the reading of the year that I will do on January the 1st, and we will post it. We're getting ready to do our Nangareo as a family here on the compound to salute the sun and ask for his blessing. So we're going to be doing that. So we'll be doing that and just bringing forth the reading of the year. And of course, all of those who are interested in getting their consultations for the year, we'll open up again in January, because my appointments are locked down.
Our calendars are closed till the end of the year.
Just cleansing myself up and just renewing myself and reprogramming and doing the things I need so we can come out to the next year, which is going to be an amazing year.
So amazing.
It's
So
going to be an
amazing.
amazing year. We're going to be doing some amazing things. So thank you.
Ashe, oh, ashe, ashe. We just give so much thanks for being able to come together. Will your mediumship training be offered in the new year?
Yes, it's March. The mediumship and divination classes. The divination is just for priests, though. And you have to prove that you're a priest, not a drive-through. And so you have to feel like, I'm finna be a priest, so I need to learn how to read. That's a whole other thing. So that initiation, the beginning part.
You know, Iya tells it like it's
yes, the mediumship. We have a mediumship class going on now, but the new mediumship class is going to start in March. So
definitely.
And the children's rites of passage.
Yes,
I forgot to say that the teens' rites of passage is starting in February. Go ahead. Your children between the ages of 13 and 17. Yes, this is a very good time for them. And they're going to be learning the same introductory classes, but on their level. Right. We have the younger children, and they are rocking it. They're doing all kinds of projects and things. But I forgot to mention that the other day on the show, on the summit, is that go and sign your children up. If you have teenagers, this is very important for them to learn introduction to divination, introduction to ancestral reverence, introduction to African spirituality. Why is it that people of African descent think the way they do? Why do European people think? How do Asians think? Why it's important for us to know who we are, knowing your groundation, and that way you don't have to focus on any other culture but yourself. Knowing you is the most important thing. You show up like the tree that you are, the root that you have, because you understand your root. Introduction to Obi divination. Your children will be taught how to throw the Obi and ask themselves some common sense questions. Mm-hmm. Should I go with my friend tonight? My head is telling me no. Ask your Ori. It says no, stay home. Then later on you find out, woo, the cops picked up your friend. Those are the things the children are going to be equipped. They will be equipped with all of that. Introduction to meditation, journaling, all of the things that children now are distracted because they're sitting in front of these computers for so long. Right. They need something to ground them. That's it.
Ashe, give thanks. Yes, as we always say, you gotta involve your children in these things. No tradition, no culture can survive if our young people are not involved with it. So please do sign up your children. The classes for the younger children will be coming back. I think that was 8 to 12, that group.
Right.
And so, those will be coming back in the fall. Of course, at AseIre.com, we've got the University rocking and rolling. We're closing out this cycle. The next cycle will be in February. And I am so pleased to announce that we listen to you. I can't say no to my people, to the family. We listen to you, and we are going to have Iya.
Can I shake?
Yes, shake it down. We are going to have Iya Funlayo Maxi, who presented energy healing from an African spiritual perspective at the summit. She will be teaching level 1 Reiki and other energy healing. It'll be a course on energy healing, and you will actually get your level 1 certification and attunement at the end of that class. So we are so excited to have her featured in February. Of course, we'll be back with Yoruba, Ede Yoruba, level 1 and level 2. We'll also be back with Tarot 101 again for those who want to get in on that. And the whole year is going to be beautiful. We have Dr. Kira Malika Daniels, who's going to come and teach us on carnival and masquerade in Africa and the diaspora. We have a lot of goodness that's going to be coming for you. Courses on plant medicine and a lot of goodness. So please do join both of our mailing lists to stay connected to everything that we have going on, and just use the medicine. Head on over to Ase Ire, get the ebook, learn the prayer for yourself, pray over yourself, and pray for us, and continue. We just receive all of your prayers. We receive all of your love, and we pray a beautiful, beautiful rest of the week for you. Ire bobo. We send healing energy and just love and light and beauty and honor and grace and peace to be with you always. Ashe. Odabo.